Guys, today we're going to talk about OpenWRT. OpenWRT is a powerful open source Linux distribution designed for embedded devices, primarily wireless routers. Unlike stock firmware that comes with most consumer routers, OpenWRT offers extensive customization, enhanced security, and advanced networking features. It provides a package management system that allows users to install and configure software tailored to their needs, making it a flexible alternative to proprietary firmware. OpenWRT is widely used by enthusiasts, developers, and businesses seeking better performance, security, and control over their network hardware. The project began in 2024 as a fork of the Linksys WRT54G firmware after Linksys was forced to release its source code to comply with the GNU General Public License, commonly known as the GPL. Originally designed to improve the functionality of that specific router, OpenWRT quickly evolved into a full-fledged operating system for a wide range of network devices. Over the years, it's gained a strong community of contributors who continually develop new features, improve stability, and expand hardware support. Today, OpenWRT, oops, I lost my place. I'm scrolling. Today, OpenWRT is the most versatile and widely supported firmware alternative available for routers, access points, and even IoT devices. It forms the base of many open source and vendor-specific firmware. I started with OpenWRT the same way many other folks did at the time. I was tired of rebooting my router every couple of days because it would just stop working. And I was frustrated by its artificial limits on things like wireless clients and lack of features. Flashing OpenWRT gave me a more stable device with more features, and as a coder and Linux guy myself, it gave me the opportunity to tinker, customize, and improve the system for my own uses. Fast forward 20 years, and we still see router vendors doing the same stuff, shipping insecure devices and sometimes not even shipping firmware updates to fix the holes. Then you've got the trend of new devices requiring you to make an account and install their app, which is a shiny new level of nonsense. And most of these devices are still missing features we should all expect to have, such as VPN and ad blocking capability. Today, we're going to take a look at some cheap routers I got from Woot, and we're going to upgrade them to OpenWRT. Let's get started. All right, guys, there's my little intro there for the eventual full video. Go ahead and let me know in the chat if my audio sounds good. I think it should be all right. I was just live streaming a few minutes ago. And here today, we have the Linksys MX8400 or AX4200 2-pack. This is two devices. They were sold by Woot for, I want to say I paid like $32 for them. They are certified, refurbished, and I need a new OpenWRT device for a project. So today is the day that we're going to do this. All right, first thing we're going to do is we're going to crack open this box. I got this like a couple of weeks ago, actually. I haven't even opened the box. We will use this handy Dollar General screwdriver. Put right through, there we go. All right. Let's see what we've got. Power supply. Network cords. There's way more to this power cord. We're just going to go ahead and toss these over here. I guess these are our boxes. There's a setup guide. Oh, this is, I thought this was a box and there was something in. This is actually the router. And here's number 2. Let me get rid of all this packaging. Yep, I see there's a manual. Other crap in there. We ain't gonna need ya. All right, well, that is an interesting shaped device or pair of devices. we have 2. Now, the router itself claims to be a Linksys MX4200. They both claim to be the same. We have, looks like a power button, or a power switch, a reset button, and a WPS. Now, the power switch on this one is really stiff, strangely stiff. On the back, we have our power port. We've got 4 Ethernet ports and a USB. Generally speaking, with OpenWRT, they have worked out how to flash these directly from the manufacturer's web pages, the internal management web pages. So I'm going to assume that's going to be the case. We got a nice Ethernet cable. I'm going to need to get a USB Ethernet adapter, which I have around here someplace. And the USB port on here doesn't mean too much. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to power this guy up. Undo one of the power cords. I think we only need one of these. Bye-bye. Come back to you later. All right, now one thing I noticed, the power cord on here, the direction of the plug means this has to go on the end of your power strip or on its own outlet, which I really hate when they do that. All they have to do is rotate this 90 degrees and it'll slot right into your power strip next to a bunch of other things and not be in the way. So that is a loss for Linksys. Plugging her in. Let this guy boot up. Now in the meantime, we're going to go ahead and we're going to pull up the OpenWRT docs for this device. Generally speaking, when I'm out and about, I like to go thrift shopping, and I see a lot of routers at thrift stores. And first thing I do is I jump onto Google and I type in the brand and model, which this is a Link. This, if I can type it right. There we go. It is a Linksys and MX4200. And then OpenWRT. And that will take you, if it's a supported device, that will take you, your first top link should usually be to OpenWRT Wiki in their table of supported hardware. So here we've got Linksys MX4200. And we're just going to come down to installation instructions. And now they say there's a V1 and a V2. I don't see any indication here of if it would be a V1 or a V2. Let's see if they have any information there. All right, so they say the method of doing that is to connect via a wired port, which we will do. Open your web browser, log in with the admin password. Under connectivity, they have a flash function, so we're just going to use that. Let's go ahead and download. I'm going to assume this is V1 because I don't see a version here. Go ahead and get that downloaded. And next, I'm going to need to get my USB Ethernet adapter, which I should have gotten before I started my stream. But I know it's around here someplace. Haven't used it in a little while, but there it is. USB Ethernet. We'll use one of their shiny new Ethernet cords. Now, the reason I'm getting this set up, I have an immediate need for a separate device that I can use to funnel all wireless traffic to a particular IP for doing traffic analysis. These ports do not appear to be numbered. Take the top one, get an IP address from that. And our Ethernet device does not yet have an IP. I expected that to happen right away. It does show a link, but does not show an IP. All right, let's grab our tablet. And maybe we need to enable something here on its LAN ports. Should have a default network set up. Right. Have passwords on the bottom. Super secret password. All right. That looks right. See if we get it. All right, we are connected on Wi-Fi. We still do not have an IP address on our USB Ethernet. So go ahead and bring up our browser. .1.1. It's probably this IP. Yes, it is. I don't want to download your app. Like I was saying, a lot of these new devices, they want you to download their stupid app in order to manage the router that you have in your own house. Now it's thinking about nothing, but it's doing it. All right. Don't have an account. That sounds like me. Where's the don't use an account? I would like to not use an account. All right. They do not provide you with an obvious way to not make an account. Now we know this does not have internet access, so there's no way that it can verify anything I type in. So we'll just put in some nonsense. Sign in. Nope. All right, well, that didn't work, obviously. Let's look at our URL here. We're going to just try and go to something else. That's really annoying already. We don't appreciate you asking us to make an account to manage our own purchased device. Go back to our little splash page here. There's nothing on here. Let's look at desktop view. Maybe they hid something. Doesn't look like it. Go back to the sign in page. Desktop view. All right, well, here we can punch in our router password. So let's punch that in again. I'm guessing that's going to be, we'll try our recovery key. Six, 4, 3, 0, 3. Nope. All right, it might be the default Wi-Fi. Good. X. 49. Y. Really? So it wasn't that either. Type that in again in case I got it wrong. I doubt it. I will just try some generic passwords. There it was. It was admin, which is not made clear anywhere. All right, so why don't we have an IP address on our port? And actually, I guess first thing we should do, let's try a different port. Maybe that top one is for WAN. No, it says the bottom one is for WAN. We'll just plug in there anyway. All right, device list. Add a device. It's a computer. It's not on Wi-Fi. Okay, well that just wants to do some goofy stuff. Go back to goofy stuff, Jimmy. This firmware is terrible. USB, Wi-Fi. Test access, don't need that. Parental controls, don't need that. Connectivity. Let's see if there's any settings in here for the ports. Local network. DHCP. Nothing about ports. Advanced routing. Administration. Nothing there. Basic. There should really be something in here specifically about these ports. I mean, I guess we can do it over Wi-Fi, but why do you have the ports if they're disabled? Wi-Fi settings, security settings. What are you? Priority, external storage. Nothing there. You're wasting your time trying to get there. All right, we're going to, since we're on Linux, we're just going to manually bring up our own IP here and see if that works. adapter name. One nine two 168.1.4. All right, so that worked. I just manually configured an IP address on my laptop. And that's going to allow me to go in and flash our firmware, I think. Go ahead and we'll record that segment over here. Sorry, guys, I can't show you this part of the process in the live stream. 192.168.1. Oh. 92.168.1.1. Click. Here's where we put in the password. They make it so difficult. Somewhere in here is going to be the firmware. But they had that in the documentation where we need to go for that. Let's go back to the documentation. Connectivity. Oh, that's where I was. Connectivity. Basic. Oh, here. I just completely went past it. Details. So this gives us a CA link. It says, and I think that's supposed to give us more. Yeah, here we go. That's more manual settings. We're going to pick our file, go into downloads. This guy, we're going to hit start. Yes, I want to continue. Yes, that's fine. What a pain. This is why we use OpenWRT, because it doesn't treat you like this. While this uploads, go ahead and get rid of some of the many twist ties that they included here. All right, the router is going to reboot. I am prepared for the router to reboot. We're going to jump back to our Wi-Fi network list. When it comes back up, we should see an OpenWRT access point without a password. Shouldn't take very long. Now, specs on this device, it's got a quad-core Qualcomm processor running at 1.4 gigahertz. It has 512 megabytes of flash, which is a ton. It's got 512 megabytes of RAM. Wait, which model? Yeah. MX, wait. Oh, that's V2. Okay. I'm pretty sure we have V1. So it's got 512 megabytes of RAM. And it's got 2.4 gigahertz, got 5 gigahertz. It's got 4 gigabit Ethernet ports and 1 USB 3 port. All right, this might be configured. I've noticed some of these devices, when you first flash them, the Wi-Fi is actually disabled. So let's see if we got an IP address over here on our Linux box. We do, but that's the one that I set manually. Let's restart that interface by unplugging, replugging, and see if that did it. Might need to actually pop the Ethernet adapter out of USB to reset that. We would like a DHCP assigned address would be nice. Which I am still not getting a DHCP assigned address. All right, we will set it up ourselves again. And we can ping again. All right. I'm going to go with this tab. Here, 168.1.1. All right, and this browser, I don't think is going to let us get past it not liking a certificate, which would be unfortunate. All right, well, I installed Firefox on here in case I needed it. So let's go ahead and grab that. Got a bit of weather coming through right now. We're actually in a tornado watch at the moment, which is exciting. All right. Here we are in the OpenWRT admin interface. First thing we're going to do is we're going to enable our wireless. Enable. We've got 3 wireless radios on here. It is sold as a mesh device, so it's got 2 5 gigahertz radios so that you have connectivity to your mesh with one, and you're still able to provide 2.4 and 5 gigahertz connectivity to the rest of your devices. So here we now have our OpenWRT network, which at the moment does not have connectivity, but we'll change that in a moment. Firefox is going to gripe at us. OpenWRT wants us to put in a password. We're not going to worry about it being a good password because this is not for real. And SSH access we like. It's already on, so that's good. All right, now what we can do is pick one of our Wi-Fi 5 gigahertz, and we can set it up in slave mode. So let me figure out which one we want to do that with by real quick looking at what channels I have in use. So I want to use channel 149. So we want to use the higher. Oh, I thought I had this enabled. All right, radio 2 is what we want. A little scan. Go to network. Put in our password. Hit save. And in a moment, we should have internet access here on our tablet. Now you notice all the problems that we had were when we were still running the factory firmware. Now that we're on OpenWRT, everything's just right there. Nothing is in here trying to get in our way, trying to prevent us from using our own device. shortly we should be getting connected, and we should have working internet right about now. Let's just jump over and try Google. And look at that, we have internet on this router. So once we figured out how to actually get to the page where you upload the firmware, that took us about 2 minutes to get the firmware flash done. Now, what I'm going to be doing with this is going to be actually some advanced routing, where I'm going to be taking all traffic that comes in from the wireless interface, and it's going to pipe it out through the Ethernet to a specific IP address for packet analyzing. But we're not going to do that today. I think that's going to be a tomorrow. Today was just about getting OpenWRT installed. Now that we've got it on here, there's a few things that I'll show you. If you're watching the eventual video, you're not going to be able to see it on the live stream because it's on the UI here. But if you go to your system tab, they actually have a bunch of packages that you can install on here, including VPN clients. They've got ad blockers. They got all kinds of stuff. So that for some reason didn't work. Let's try again. Update our lists. That didn't copy. All right, get out of that. I want to grab this URL. Yeah, so that's working. This isn't working for some reason. Maybe we'll SSH in and try it. Oh, I know why. I can't reuse the network that's already in my path, so I need to set this to a different network. Let's dismiss network interfaces, LAN, edit. We're going to change our subnet here. And we're going to make this 192.168.6.1. And we're going to apply unchecked because we know we got it good. Now, these particular devices, being designed to be mesh units, are supposed to have rather good range, although I usually associate good range with a device that has external antennas. This one does not, so that will remain to be seen. Well, it looks like my smoker's done. All right, this should have come back up with all new IP addresses. Go ahead and reset laptop with USB. Come back in here and we're already connected to the OpenWRT network. All right, let's go ahead and we're going to pull that up on the tablet. You guys will be able to see a little bit. 2, 1, 6, 8. What did I put it? 16 or 17? Who knows? I already forgot. I can get it easily from here. We are on. Oh. All right. We're still on 1.1. Not what we were supposed to be at. All right, is this thing still thinking or what? Let's disconnect, reconnect. All right, now we've got it. So it is 6.1. All right, here we go. All right, here's the beautiful OpenWRT interface. What's the deal with our wired ports here? They are showing several interfaces in the range. It may be some things that I need to configure still to get the WAN ports actually to come up. Which is strange, it's usually the LAN that doesn't come right up. Physical devices. And it's also possible that the LAN ports on the unit that I got don't work, but that seems unlikely. Cables stay in really well, that's nice. Oh, you know what it was? My laptop was not set to automatically connect to a physical Ethernet port. So I just changed that and it came right up. That's wonderful. All right, now we should be able to update our software lists. See if this works this time. That looks a lot better. This. All right, so unlike Linksys, Netgear, and every other brand out there, once you have your router up, you have a bunch of additional packages that you can install. So I want to get, let's search for block. See if we have ad block right here, ad block fast, third party DNS options. So you want to do some ad blocking right on your router, you've got that feature right here, and that'll work on every device on your network. Or if you want VPN, we're going to search for VPN. I've got VPN client for Cisco EasyVPN. You've got Chaos VPN. Got GNU Net. Got WireGuard. Got OpenVPN. You've got OpenConnect. UNetD VPN, WireGuard VPN. You've got all these options in here. Like these people running routers that don't have VPN just confuses me. I still need to do range tests on these, obviously. I don't know how it is compared to my existing equipment, but it also doesn't need to have good range because I'm just going to use it here internally. This will probably also end up replacing my IoT router, which is running off an ESP32 right now, just for my IoT devices. So there's a good chance that I'll be keeping this around long term now that it's got OpenWRT on it. So now that I've done one on a live stream, I've got the second unit. I can do that a little more smoothly on a recorded session and be able to demonstrate for other folks who want to do the same thing. So we're going to go ahead and end this one now. Thanks for joining. I appreciate it. And we'll holler at you in the next one.